Africa can have a tremendous demographic bonus that results from its young population, young growing population, dynamic, or it can be the opposite. It can be an extremely difficult situation because there's nothing for that young and growing and dynamic population to be doing. And so we have to work with Africa on various different levels. Development, sometimes humanitarian assistance where that's needed, above all development. But of course, there are contexts in which we need to be looking at the security dimension, and the Sahel is clearly one. We need to be able to support the re-establishment of state authority in various countries. And in Mali, that's clearly the case, in Burkina Faso and Niger. This represents, the lack of state authority in those countries represents a direct threat to European security and represents an opportunity for terrorism, for international terrorist networks, Al-Qaeda and Islamic State affiliated networks that we cannot allow. We cannot allow anywhere in the world, and we certainly cannot allow with such proximity to Europe. So we have a lot of self-interest in going into the Sahel with a view to the stabilization of the situation, with a view to reestablishing state authority and creating a much more secure environment. The same goes for a couple of other parts of the African continent and the Horn of Africa, in Central African Republic. But I think that one thing that has changed in the last couple of years is that the situation in Africa is seen inside the European Union, not just as a matter of concern to the countries of the southern belt of the European Union, but as something that matters to all. And you just have to look at the investment that Estonia, Sweden, Czech Republic are making in the Sahel to see this transformation, this change that has happened in the last couple of years, which is a very positive one. Unfortunately, I think one aspect that we need to work on in the relationship with Africa is that we have 5 out of 6 of our CSDP missions are in Africa.
Indeed.
And yet the leverage, the political leverage, the capacity that we have to influence the situation politically is far more reduced than it should be. This is because, in my view, we do not have sufficient dialogue with the relevant African political authorities, the African regional organizations, the African Union, of course, but also in the different parts of Africa, ECOWAS, SADC, IGAD. These are the institutions that are focused on finding political solutions, whereas what we're doing is simply trying to militarily stabilize situations. We need to join up what we're doing with what they're doing, which is why that in our presidency, we are establishing a political dialogue at the level of ministers between European defense ministers and the people who are responsible in the regional organizations to see how we can really employ our best efforts better together.